What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack, and I'm not a financial advisor. And now I got the hoodie to prove it, baby. I also got this t-shirt, and I even got a mug so I can drink my coffee and remind everybody at the same time that I am in fact not a financial advisor. I ain't getting sued today, baby. I hope that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day, and I hope that the volatility in the stock market isn't upsetting any of you too much. There is so much uncertainty in the market right now. People don't know whether they should be buying stocks, whether they should sell all of their stocks, and nobody can tell you that except for you. But what I do want to do today is share with you the stocks that I personally have bought this week to give you some ideas to go and look into these stocks further for yourselves and see if they fit into your portfolios. I think I've made my stance quite clear in my last few videos that I am going to continue to buy stocks. I am going to also keep a lot of cash on the side, ready for these big dips that may come, and then I will get a whole lot more aggressive with my spending. If you enjoyed today's video, please smash it a like. It helps me out massively. It'll help me get seen by more people. Subscribe if you're new around here. Let's see if we can get to 3,400 subs by tomorrow. That'd be pretty cool. And drop me a comment. Let me know what stocks you have bought this week or you're watching for next week. With all that being said, guys, now you know I'm not a financial advisor. Let's get straight into the stocks that I purchased this week. So this week I bought quite a few stocks, but most of them I only picked up, a small amount in. As I said, right now I am still quite cash heavy despite the fact that I am still buying stocks. But the first stock we're speaking about today is Altria Group. I spoke about them earlier on in the week. I explained how attractive the dividend is. And right now I am trying to get some more big dividend stocks into my portfolio. I don't have anyone in my portfolio that's to do with alcohol or tobacco, so I figured out, you know what, this is quite a nice diversification. And so originally I picked up 4 shares at a fill price of $36, and then later on I actually picked up another share. So I purchased 5 shares of these guys all together this week. I'm very happy to have them in there. As I said, I want to get some of these nice dividend stocks in my portfolio. I want to expand on my position in some of them. I've spent the last little while buying a few of the tech giants, and I really want to get back to focusing on my dividends for a little while. So Altria Group, you can see right here a dividend yield of 9.25%, an absolutely massive dividend yield. And they are a dividend king. They have been paying that dividend for over 50 years. Now what may worry a few people is that during the Great Recession they did have to cut that dividend, but this is a different time for a company like Altria. Their main thing that they sell is cigarettes, a lot of people are still going to be buying their cigarettes. More people are probably going to be buying cigarettes because of the fact they're stressed. It's a sad thing, but it more than likely will happen. They're also in massive companies like Juul, they have nicotine patches, and they also sell wines. Now what I want to speak about is Altria's stock, okay? And we can see that for the last few years it's actually been moving downwards. And most people attribute this to the fact that cigarette sales have been moving downwards. But ever since the 50s, going into the 60s, cigarette smokers have been declining. The level of people smoking cigarettes have been declining. So if we go off of that logic, shouldn't these guys' stock have never gone up in price? By 1980, a lot less people were smoking than 30 years prior. And I mean, the growth since then was absolutely insane, 20,000%. And even in very recent history, since back in 2000, over 1,500% gain. So there has been some absolutely insane growth in this company. Sure, the last few years have been particularly poor, but there's been some immense growth, and they have that massive 9% dividend. I think the company at this price, around $36, will be a fantastic long-term investment. It's the kind of company I'd be inclined to invest in even if the dividend was lower at their 3-4%, a relatively standard dividend, but with 9%, that is the cherry on top. But these videos where I speak about all of the stocks I buy, I don't go in depth. But anyway, that was stock number 1, Altria. Very happy to have them in the portfolio. Now, second up, as always, these guys are going to be in here. We have Delta stock, and I purchased them twice this week, and I purchased 2 shares each time. So the first time, you see that I bought my 2 shares at a fill price of $19.53, and we're currently trading at $19.27. And the second 2 shares I actually bought only yesterday when at market open Delta had gone down about 10%. I bought them right at the bottom at $17.76. These are the biggest investment in my portfolio right now. I own 20 shares altogether, and I am very, very happy to own them, despite what a lot of people have to say about airlines. Remember though, with companies like these, it's important to understand how volatile it more than likely is going to be, at least in the short term. But I also do believe that the harder these guys get hit, the bigger the return will be down the line, and that's why I am continually buying them every single time they go lower, every single time they make that new low. And when they hit that $17 mark, that was their lowest. Honestly, I wanted to buy a lot more shares, but since they're already my biggest holding in my portfolio, I don't want to get too excited, and I also understand that they could go down much lower, so I'm not going to buy too aggressively. I think that would be a little bit silly of me. But with that being said, I love my airline stocks. You guys already know this. I love them so much. They're one of my favorite sectors shares to buy in right now. But keep in mind that these are my higher risk stocks. And keep in mind, I am young. I am 22 years old, so I can afford to have some of these higher risk stocks. If all of my airline stocks had to go bankrupt, it could not matter any less. It really does not. I'm very young. I have decades and decades ahead of me to make money. What a lot of people don't take into account is, as a young investor, I don't really have a lot of risk. I could lose my entire portfolio. I could lose every euro that I own in any savings account I have, and it'd be fine. And what I mean by that is just that I'm so young, I've so much of my life ahead of me, it does not really matter. But obviously the reason I am buying them is because I believe that they will pay me back absolutely massively in the years to come. Airlines, in my opinion, aren't going anywhere. Delta aren't going anywhere. They have the backing of the government, they offer an essential service, they've fallen on tough times, and I believe that they will bounce back extremely hard. We've spoken about Delta loads on the channel. That is it for Delta. Now, number 3, we have JPM, okay, and I purchased half a share, that's all. And since purchasing this, okay, I hold a position in Wells Fargo as well, and it is my worst position. And since buying this, I'll be honest, I don't think it was the best idea. The way things are going right now with these potential negative interest rates and the likes coming up, banks are more than likely going to suffer for a very long time. And I'm always happy to hold my hands up and admit when I think I may have bought into a poor stock, or a stock that I could have got into at a far better price down the line. I will always say that. So I did buy half a stock in these guys, and I don't plan on selling them. Just because I don't believe it may not be the best investment I could have made, I still don't plan on selling them. I do still 100% believe in these stocks in the very long term. I just think it's going to be longer before these guys recover than a lot of other options out there. So I really don't think this is the best place I could have put my money. But you know, sometimes you put a deposit in and you're going a bit of a spending spree. At the end of the day, it was half a share. It doesn't really mean anything. We can see that these guys fell about 42.5% from their highs to their lows, and they're still down about 36%. So this is one of the big reasons that I was willing to invest, even if I don't have the utmost confidence in them, is because they're still down so much, and in the long term I still do believe in them. But again, definitely not my favorite investment of the week, and I more than likely won't buy any more bank stocks for quite a considerable amount of time. But at the same time, I'm not going to sell the ones I do own, and I will buy them if they do continue to go down drastically lower. But that was number 3 anyway. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. Number 4, Exxon Mobil, baby. So I've spoken about these guys a lot. I absolutely do love these guys, okay? I just bought one more share in them at a fill price of 42.22. Keep in mind, I am trying to get more dividend stocks into my portfolio, and obviously one thing you have to love about these guys is that 8.2% dividend yield. And Exxon have come out and reaffirmed their commitment to the dividend, and considering it's at that 8.2%, that's fantastic. And it's not only that, but things in the world of oil are starting to look up. There is a generally positive outlook. Economies are starting to open back up to an extent. Companies are starting to open back up to an extent, and as soon as that happens, oil is more than likely going to have higher demand, and companies such as Exxon should start to perform well again. And with all of that in mind, these guys are still down 40.26% from their highs. This is a company I expect myself to buy more in next week, to be completely honest with you. I love them, I love the dividend yield, I love the long-term outlook, and I love how hard they have been hit because of the virus and because of what the virus has done to oil. Their prospects for growth have not been great the last few years. They really have not. They've kind of been moving sideways as a whole. But after coming down this low, and with the rebound in oil that we may see, may being the key word, I believe that there is room not only for really nice growth in this company, but they also do have that 8.2% dividend yield, which they want to keep paying. And that's why I had to go ahead and pick up another share in these guys. Okay, so that was number 4. So next up, we have Coca-Cola, and I went ahead and I just bought one more share. Yet again, this week I bought a good few companies in just small amounts. So one more share in Coca-Cola. And what I really like about these guys, which may sound odd, is the fact that they are still down 25% from their highs. A company like Coca-Cola, who is still doing quite well, they're still selling a lot of products, people are still buying their products while they're stuck in home, is still down 25%. And again, they have a nice dividend at 3.7%, and they are most definitely going to be able to keep paying that. And they have that 58+ year dividend streak. I want to buy a lot more of these guys. Very similar to Exxon, these are ones that I plan on buying and holding forever and taking in those juicy dividends. So I'm going to most certainly buy more of these and Exxon next week, more than likely at the very least. And again, these guys have come out and said they will keep prioritizing their dividend. But it's not often you see a company like Coca-Cola at such a steep discount. That's why I'm very happy to buy them right now. And you guys probably already know, if you follow the channel, that I do indeed prefer Pepsi to Coca-Cola as a whole. But Pepsi is only down 8.5% from their highs compared to Coke's 25%. That's why I am inclined to buy a little bit more Coke right now, although I am still buying Pepsi as well. Oh, I just realized my screen is down here. What is it doing down here? You want to see the magic? You want to see the magic? Boom, I'm back in the corner. Well, that was Coca-Cola, guys. Sorry about the screen being down there. I doubt anybody really cares. On to the next one. Next up, another airline, Southwest Airlines. So, I did say earlier on in the video that Delta is my favorite, and I do buy the most of them. They're my biggest position. This week I bought 4 shares in Delta, and as you'll see now on the screen, I only bought 2 shares in Southwest. Now, the main reason I did start buying a second airline is because I fully appreciate the fact that one of these guys could go bankrupt. It still is a very real possibility, and I do want to, you know, somewhat diversify the portfolio to protect myself a little bit. Even if it is 2 airlines, it is still technically diversifying. Even the Boeing CEO came out and said that he predicts the pandemic could put a major airline out of business. Now, it's not because of this reason that I did buy Southwest. I was buying them before all of this happened, but it just goes to show you can never be too safe. But I was very happy when he came out and said this. Delta dropped 10% on the day. I bought when they were down 10%, and they finished the day at only like negative 2%. So I was happy about it. But yeah, not too much else needs to be said. The same points go for these guys as go for Delta, you know. They're an essential service. They're being backed by the government. And in the long term, they're going to be around in my opinion. I don't see either of these guys going bankrupt, but I understand it could happen. So that was Southwest. I won't spend any more time on them. We only have a couple of more stocks left. And now we're at the stage where I had put as much money into the market as I wanted to, and I just had a bit left over. So I picked up a couple of little bits. Apple stock. Literally bought 0.1 of a share. I've been saying recently how I want to get a position open in all of the tech giants, but I don't want to open a massive position just because I feel like they have a good bit more room to go down to the downside. So it is literally one of my favorite companies. I just don't want to invest too heavily too quickly. It's not something I want to do. I will just dollar cost average little bit by little bit, and 0.1 of a share in these guys is about $30, and as I said, I was just kind of getting out the remainder of my account. I don't think I need to explain it too much. I've spoken about them a good bit lately. They're a tech giant. They do indeed pay a dividend. So be it, it is only 1.08%, but for any tech giant to pay any dividend is always absolutely amazing. And they are very new to this dividend. It's only been paid for 7 years, but I don't see why they would stop it. They have so much money, so I only see this dividend going up. But you don't buy Apple for the dividend, you buy Apple for the immense growth potential. I mean, in the last 10 years, they've gone up over 1,000%. That does speak for itself. And then the final company where I dropped my last little bit of money that was in the account was Amazon, and I purchased 0.02 of a share for about $45-50-ish. Again, Amazon speaks for itself. Now, I know a lot of people think Amazon is absolutely incredibly overpriced right now. I don't believe so, not from a long-term perspective, but that's why I'm only going to buy a little bit at a time. If I see another sign of a dip, if Amazon goes even 10-15% lower again, I will be loading up on them. That goes for any of the tech giants. If any tech giant falls 10-20%, oh my days, my bank account is going to cry. But what needs to be said about Amazon? They're an absolute beast of a company, an absolute beast of a balance sheet. They make an awful lot of money. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world. I think he's the richest man in the world now. Yep, he's currently the richest man in the world as of 22 hours ago. So the richest man in the world owns them. They gotta be doing something right, you know what I mean? And 10-year growth of close to 2,000%, which is not the worst in the whole world realistically, is it? So I don't think you can get into these guys at too bad of a time. People would have said they were overvalued here, and here, and here, and here. They would have said they were overvalued absolutely everywhere. That's why that does not necessarily deter me. When people tell me, why are you buying Amazon? They're overvalued. Long-term perspective, baby. And that is all of the stocks I bought this week. So I think we got around $600 or so put into the market this week. So not too bad. The portfolio is growing very, very nicely, and I'm very happy about it. Again, just making lots of little purchases, keeping the diversification in the portfolio somewhat in balance, not putting too much money into any one company or sector, except for Delta, because Delta are going to the moon, baby. Watch Delta go bankrupt and me have to go look back through my YouTube videos and find that clip. But yeah, they're the picks for today, man. If you've watched this video till the end, please do me a massive favor and drop me a comment right now. Let me know what your favorite stocks are right now. I don't care if it's Nat, if it's Johnson & Johnson, if it's Pepsi, if it's Carnival. I don't care if it's a boring one or exciting one. I genuinely love to hear your guys' favorite picks. It also gives me like ideas for videos, and it puts stocks onto my watch list, so I always massively appreciate your comments. I read every single one of them and I get back to every single one of them. Also, if you're not subbed yet, please do hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so much. I am working hard to try and make something of this channel. I have really high hopes for it, and I would just massively appreciate that support. So hopefully you did enjoy today's video. I'm here to try please, baby. That's what we do. We're not financial advisors. We just have fun around here. I will catch you all for tomorrow's video. As always, I hope you all have a great day. Peace.